Hey, this is Bobby Gustafson from SATAN'S TAINT, and you are watching That Metal Interview.
From the port into the sea, we are strong, we will always be.
That Metal Interview.
Welcome back. As Slayer says on Hell Awaits, and we have a returning guest. Bobby Gustafson is here to present his project SATAN'S TAINT's new EP, Guardians of Valhalla. An awesome EP that you guys have to check out. All the way from Florida, he joins us to speak of this project, and he speaks of the change in vocalist. And not only that, he speaks of the change in, I want to say, genre, because the older SATAN'S TAINT albums feature more of a thrashy vocal. And this, if you guys have checked it out, this is more of a death metal approach, as we speak about it, of course. And right now, you're going to check it out. Right now, before the interview, as always, I present to you SATAN'S TAINT, SATAN'S TAINT's latest song and video by and single by the name of Spineless. Spineless is Spineless. Check it out. Satan's Taint has turned into a death metal project, as I want to label it. And of course, you shouldn't label things. But anyways, this EP is labeled Guardians of Valhalla. And I asked Bobby what that means and why the EP title, and he'll answer that. A very cool reason and a very cool title, of course. Guardians of Valhalla. Sounds like one of those Viking movies or one of those deals, right? So anyways, let's go to the interview in our chat and conversation with Bobby Gustafson. And for those of you that are like, wait a minute, I know that name from somewhere. This is the person, the guitar player responsible for the first 4 albums from Overkill. Feel the Fire, Taking Over, Under the Influence, and the Years of Decay. He was a part of that era of Overkill in the 80s, and he is, in my eyes and my 2 cents, he is one of the innovators and pioneers of thrash metal alongside Exodus, Testament, Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, Slayer, and so on and so forth. Bobby is responsible for all those albums. As in a previous interview, he told us why and all that stuff. So anyways, right now let's speak of Satan's Taint. Satan's Taint's new EP, Guardians of Valhalla. Here's our chat with the great, legendary Bobby Gustafson. Enjoy.
Good to see you, and long time no chat.
Yeah, no good. It's been a while.
Right. So first of all, ask everyone the same question. Where are you? In Florida, right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Home in Florida.
So we're here to talk about your 4-song EP, Guardians of Valhalla. Is that the right pronunciation?
Yeah.
So how's the reception so far?
So far, it's been really good. I mean, I always kind of take a risk with the vocals, and I went a little extra on this one with Chuck. He's like very like deep, growly, you know, more than Dan was. You know, like I don't even know how to describe it. I had to actually have him kind of make the words a little bit more clear because he's like so gravelly and so growly. But I said, you know, just want to get a vocal that fits these 4 songs, and he was perfect for it. And so far, you know, people like it. So
It's awesome.
it's good to have different vocals on all your music as opposed to, you know, one guy all the time, everything sounding the same.
Right. I heard it on Bandcamp. It's awesome. Kicks ass. And I was going to point out, with the previous Satan's Taint, the voice is different, as you said. It's I want a thrashy kind of deal, which is also badass. And on this one, you went more death metal kind of. What the change there? Was it just a natural change, or?
I just thought it would kind of fit. Actually, you know, the two slower songs, you know, I thought would fit even better too. But he wound up sounding good on the fast ones as well. And I mean, that was the whole point of Satan's Taint to begin with, was just to like play with a bunch of different people and cover a bunch of different styles and stuff. And it all sounds like me, or it all sounds like Satan's Taint, but it's all kind of different. There's a lot of variation in there. And I like that. I've always liked that.
Yeah, it sounds badass. I mean, I'm a fan of both genres, you know, death metal, thrash. So to me, it's awesome. And the vocalist, we'll get to that right now, to those guys. What's behind the title, Bobby? The Guardians of Valhalla. What's going on there?
I had the cover idea, like right after the second CD. I had that cover idea, and I held on to it. And I just kind of happened to cross that title, and you know, I'll jot stuff down one way or another, and then you know, I had the song with the title, and it just seemed to fit with the swords. I mean, that's an actual place in Norway, but it just kind of all fit, and it was like keeping with that Viking theme, and it just sounded good. It sounded, it sounds like it would be even like a good band name. If I changed the name, I would even use that as a band name. I just kind of like it, like the way it sounds.
Yeah, it's badass.
Yeah.
When did you record this? I mean, because last time we spoke, you were working on Painward.
Yeah. You did two. Go ahead.
Yeah, you were doing two projects at once, or?
Yeah, I had. I'm doing both, and Painward is taking a little bit longer. I'm still trying to find guys for that. So as I'm waiting, I'm still writing more songs, and I've got a couple of like newer songs that I thought, even though I like Spineless and Kick, that these other songs were a little better. So I said, well, let me not throw them away. I'll use them. And while I'm trying to get everything going, I'll put out a quick EP with Taint. So the Drenger Code is probably the newest song. Spineless and Kick with a Smile were like leftovers from Painward, and Guardians was actually a leftover song from the second CD that I liked, but there just wasn't enough room to get all that on there. So I held on to that, and that's probably the oldest song out of all of them. So it's just something to keep me going, keep the band going, keep the name out there until, I can get the Painward stuff out. It's a little bit harder to get people to play than I thought it was going to be.
Very cool. I mean, as far as the band members, Mike Borders, we know him from Massacre, and he's worked with you before. Chuck, he's from Canada, I believe. And Jim McCord, he's worked with you before, right?
Yeah.
For people that don't know who these people are, can you talk about the musicians real quick?
Oh yeah, Jim. He's pretty much played on all the CDs. We've been friends now for 20 years. We played together in Response Negative, so he's like, he's the local guy. He's just a great drummer. Mike, I knew him years ago when I first moved down to Florida. He was a friend of a friend, but he's kind of moving. He was in South Florida, but he keeps moving farther away. He moved to Tampa, which is like 4 hours. Then he moved up to Gainesville, which is like just a little bit more. So he helped me record the CD. This is the first one that I've actually done on the laptop and not just straight in the studio. So all the tracks were kind of done in my room on the laptop, and we kind of worked all that stuff in. He showed me how to do all that stuff. He was a great help. But he might be going on his own way soon. And then Chuck is just a friend from Facebook. He's got his own bands up in Canada. He lives so far away. I mean, he's in the middle of nowhere in Canada. But we just keep in touch on Facebook. And he had a little puppet he calls Paleo that he does, little trippy little videos and stuff. He did the lyric video too, and he helped me with all the artwork. He organized all the artwork with me, and he's just been a tremendous help. But he's got his own bands up there that he's dealing with. But they all volunteered to, hey, if you got a show going on and you need somebody, we'll come and play. But so far we just haven't gotten anything together yet.
I mean, we all have a bunch of friends on Facebook. How did you pinpoint or choose Chuck? At what point did you say, you know what, this is the guy for this EP?
I mean, up until the last minute, I didn't know who I was going to use, and he's volunteered. He's actually taken some of the older songs and made videos of himself singing the older songs and sent them to me, and his voice is just so heavy. I'm like, if you can make some of the lyrics a little bit more clear, I said, we can definitely do something. I says, because I wrote the lyrics, and I said, I don't even understand what you're saying. So he kind of cleaned them up a lot just to to help me out and stuff. But I'm like, yeah, I'm like, these would kind of work with that song. And he worked really hard on them. Like, without even me telling him anything, what I wanted, he just went and recorded. I sent him the lyrics, and he already recorded it and sent it back to me. So he's a very hard worker, and I really appreciated that. So I'm like, yeah, definitely, I'll be able to get stuff done with you, as opposed to just waiting on other people, which is the problem with Painward, just constantly waiting on other people.
Yeah. I mean, for people that haven't checked out this EP, you guys have to check it out. It's on Bandcamp, right?
Yeah, I got it on Bandcamp. I signed it up to DistroKid.
Yep.
I had some of the stuff up on there before, and they kind of send it out to Amazon and Apple and stuff like that. So still selling CDs. I still got CDs. A lot of kids still like to have the physical CDs, which is great because that helps a lot. But yeah, everything's up there if anyone wants to just download it without dealing.
Where can people order the CD, Bobby? Through your Facebook?
Yeah, they can hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. I've been just taking people hitting me up on the Messenger, and I'll give them the information for PayPal, and then I'll get an address and stuff, package it up, and I've been physically mailing them out myself.
You mentioned the song Danger Code. Excuse my ignorance a bit. What does that mean? I mean,
it's an old like Norse saying. Oh. The meaning behind it, like the easiest way I've heard, like to make a definition out of it would be to, like, if you have two football teams that kind of hate each other and each one wants to win and they're kind of fighting each other to win, but at the end they kind of still shake hands. So it's kind of the same thing with some of the the Vikings. It's like kind of a I'll kill you respectfully. So there's kind of a code between killers, so to speak.
That reminds me of there's a song by Lamb of God. I forgot the title, but he talks something about that. Something.
Oh yeah.
If you don't kill me first, I'll kill you.
Yeah, it's kind of, they kind of had a code, like it was like a gentleman's code, sort of,
the code of honor. Yeah,
like a respectful assassin sort of deal. And I never saw it on the other two albums because it may have come up. I always go down wormholes with stuff and find out things like Acetru, which I had never heard of before too. And then I saw this with Danger Code, and I'm like, well, that's something new that I've never heard of. So yeah, I'll find a way to turn it into a song.
So as far as the guitars, Bobby, did you try to go back and copy the tone for Destruction Ritual for this EP, or did you just you went fresh with this, or what? How did you go about this?
I used the same. I have Mesa Boogie, so I used the same Mesa Boogie head. When I did a Destruction, I had just gotten the heads, and I didn't play with them long enough to kind of get my sound. I may have overdid a little bit of the gain on the second album, so I backed off on that, and I did 4 tracks on that CD. This one I did 3. So I tried, like I said, I went dry into the laptop, and then we reamped it through the Mesa Boogies for 2 tracks. And about a year or so ago, I went in and I tried getting one of those, fake amp sounds. I'm like, let's try something different and just pick out something that I like and add that in. So basically, it was almost like having a completely new sound for this CD.
Wow, very cool. how about the riffs themselves? I mean, we all know you're responsible for the first 4 albums for Overkill. We talked about it before, and the credit is all yours, of course. You're the man behind the success of Overkill, in my eyes, in my opinion. So, did you go back to listen to something else besides your own records or the Overkill stuff you did, or was this all just came out of your mind fresh?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even listen to those old songs anymore. I played the guitar every day, so at least once a day there's something that I want to remember, so I'll just put it on tape somewhere. I'll put it on my little Zoom, and I'll go back to it. And then this was just like a combination of riffs that either I had or I came up with on the spot, but it's just trying. The hardest part are the arrangements and trying to get them to where not everything sounds exactly the same. So I try and make each song a little different. But yeah, it's just a combination of riffs I save, and then when you get drums to it, you may come up with something else now that you're hearing it with drums. So I just kind of orchestrate the whole thing and just arrange it all together. And then once I got them down, like I said, I put them on the laptop. I send them out to Mike. He put some distorted guitar on it. Went to Jim's house. We used the drums at Jim's house, recorded that onto the computer, and then we just took everything down to the studio and had them organize it. So this was like a first. I've never done it that way before. So this was kind of a little bit of an experiment as well, because, you know, I am just not computer savvy at all. I touch things and they explode. So it's a first that something successful actually happened out of this.
That's cool. It's all good.
Yeah, it's different.
We're all human, and so that's no big deal. So, so what you're saying is this EP was written in pieces. You would get some riffs off of your banks, your libraries, and then you would send it off to Mike. So that's cool. So you guys never actually sat in a room like the Beatles and
no, it's something I've never done before. And I kind of don't like it. At least I feel like I should be playing with the drummer, because I love having, you know, I would sit with Jim and explain to him the beats I have in my head, the tempos in my head, and I would direct him through that, and then he would add his own little flavor to it. But yeah, this is the first time I've ever just used the laptop and a click track by myself to put my tracks and my solos down, and then, you know, send it to Mike. You know, me and Mike never even practiced together on these, and once we got the clicks on it, we sent it to Jim. I sat with him. He played his tracks, and then we sent them all up to Chuck. Chuck did his vocals up in Canada, sent those back, and then we just came down with all the emails to Power Station and put them together.
So it's mixed and mastered. Obviously, you can't go backwards there. Is there something you would change, Bobby, if you had a chance? Something you regret? Maybe a bridge you didn't like?
These, no, because I won't send anything out to anyone else until it's totally written and I'm totally satisfied with it. You know, beginning, middle, end. A couple of the solos, because I was playing it clean in my room, I can get it to work for the rhythms because you're just following that click track. But with the solo, sometimes you need that amplified guitar, you know, to get some screams and stuff like that, get some sustain, which you don't get if it's 100% clean. So a couple of the solos I redid sitting in the studio, and that was the only thing I kind of, like, you know, fixed up that didn't go straight. I'll get better at it once I get, you know, distorted guitar onto the actual laptop and I can play to it. But I'm so used to the old way that I've got my little R8 Zoom that I plug into. It already has guitar tones in it, and I just play to the click track and put stuff down that way. As long as I've got something that can save it, I'm okay, because I write too much. I'll never remember it.
So speaking of leads, do you what's your approach here? Do you just press spacebar, play, record, and you just take off with a lead off the top of your head, or do you plan out your leads? You know what? It should start with a little run here or a little bend. How do you plan out your solos?
Yeah, I mean they're all pretty much planned out. I might improvise here and there, like, and not figure it out totally, but usually they're 100% figured out. The same trick I used to do kind of with Overkill, because I had one guitar player. I would write the solo to work off the rhythm so the bottom doesn't drop out. So I find the chords and the rhythm and the tempo and the changes, and I kind of weave the solo in and out of that. So it kind of like never just drops, because sometimes you go and shred and it doesn't sound like it fits in the song. So I always try to at least make the solo follow a melody or a rhythm in the song, and continue the feeling, whatever it is. I don't need to show off. You know, I'd rather write a solo that just fits. It, you know, takes it to another place, sort of, or something.
Exactly, the feel of what you're feeling at the moment, what you think fits the riff and the song. First.
And then I'll put it down in a simple form, and then I'll add to it, and then I'll put a trick or something that I never did before in one of them. Just to stay fresh.
That's what makes you different, Bobby. I mean, all your leads are badass. They sound. I mean, I'm a fan of your work, of course. It's not all about playing leads at 200 miles an hour like Malmsteen or right.
No,
people think
because you forget them. You'll forget what you did after that. It's like, if you're not working off the songs and coming up with either another melody or emphasizing different parts, and you're just there shredding, nobody walks away from the show or listening to an album and remembers that. I do like, I don't want to completely abolish leads from songs, but at least let it fit the song.
It's got to fit the song, of course.
Yeah, you can still show off and fit the song. You don't have to leave the band behind and just Yngwie Malmsteen the whole thing.
Right? George Lynch or one of those Satriani deals, or
yeah, sometimes it's just too much.
Overkill. So as far as Chuck, Bobby, you said he recorded his vocals up in Canada. Was there any vocal lines that you didn't like, or maybe you didn't think it fit there? Was there any stuff that you sent back and told him, you know what, can you redo this? This doesn't.
Yeah, it happened a couple of times, because, like I said, he went and took it upon himself. He wound up almost nailing stuff exactly, but I'm like, okay, well, some of the timing is off on this, or like, and then sometimes he added like a double vocal, which I didn't have on there before. So he kind of doubled some stuff up, and a couple of things I had to explain just to follow the music. But then there was some things I know he did that were good, but it wasn't in the right spot. And I'm like, I know I can fix that later when we go to the studio. So instead of having him like do it over or do that part just over, now you can just shift it and put it to where it's supposed to be. Like, cause there's, there's one part that's supposed to be just guitar, and he sang over it. But then what he sang behind that, I wanted. So we just kind of shift things around. But I mean, he was almost done without me having to say anything.
Man, this guy, he has a badass voice, Bobby. This guy is I mean, you did mention that these guys offered to go on the road with you, or just a one-off or whatever. I think, in my opinion, my 2 cents, you should use this guy or hire him for your gigs. I mean, it's a badass voice.
Yeah, he's got the 4 that he sang on, plus the other guy, Dan, who sang for us. We picked the songs out that would fit for his voice, because he was kind of like in that Tom Araya sort of vein.
Yep.
And Paolo, he's an amazing singer. I mean, I just saw him play this Saturday. They did Dawkins. They're going out doing the Nico McDrain Brain Titanium Tart songs. He's got like more of a Halford voice.
Yeah.
And he can hit high notes for a year, but it's like those other guys don't fit with his stuff, and he doesn't fit with the other stuff. So it's like now that we've got enough songs, I can pick any one of the three and now cover at least enough to do a show. We got offered the Death Fest, I think, in Tampa in October, but everybody was going to be busy, so I had to decline on that one.
Oh, man.
But if we get something else going up, I mean, there's a club down here in Florida. If there's a band that we fit with, he's going to throw us on the bill. I'd rather just open, go in and play 8 or 10 songs and get out.
So that's one of my questions. Will we see Satan's Taint on the road sometime?
I'd like to. We don't have a booking agent. I mean, I see a lot of these little festival type shows now where there's 20 bands on. Sometimes that's a bit of a pain in the ass because you really don't have the time to make yourself proper. But if there's anything out there, yeah, I mean, if we get an offer to go and do something, yeah, we would do it, as long as, you know, it's not a huge money loss, because you realize how hard it is right now.
Yeah. As long
these shows.
As long as the schedules fit, of course. These guys everybody's busy, I guess. Everybody's doing stuff.
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, everyone's in 5 bands. People have kids. People have jobs. It's hard to get someone that can take off for 2 weeks at a time or more. So, you know, the older you get, the harder it is to do.
So you mentioned Paintward. What's the update there? What's the official update? What's going on there? Are you still waiting for a vocalist, or what's going on there?
I'm trying to get a drummer first, because like I said, I like to work with the drums, and Jim is a great, solid thrash drummer, but I was looking for something a little more over the top. I'm not finding it right now, and I'm trying to find someone local so we can jam. I'm sick of doing stuff over the internet. I don't want to be an internet band. I'd rather have the guys around here, but Florida is always, especially South Florida, is very limited. You know, there's some guys up in Orlando, some guys in Tampa, some guys in Miami, but they're already in bands, and it's just hard. It's harder now than ever, I think, to get guys to play. And if they do play, I've got 4 other bands I'm in, or, well, I can't go on a tour because I own a business. So if you want, I'll just play on the album. It's like, I don't want that. I'm like, my first question is, if things happen, are you able to go out on tour? If they say no, then I can't use you. So it's taken longer. I'm kind of starting from the beginning again. So at this point right now, it's just me. So I'm open to like a bass player that can sing, and then just get another guitar player. But to me, to make it kick ass, it's got to be an over the top drummer. So I need someone who can hit the double bass and you know, do it for a good amount of time, because some of the songs are, you know, they're up there. I'm making stuff faster. There's no slow parts. There's no nice parts. It's pretty heavy stuff.
A lot of fans are asking, of course. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but you have a lot of fans out there, Bobby. I mean, you're an icon as far as thrash metal goes, as I've said it before. And people think it's easy, right, to form a band and go ahead and stop working at Waffle House and let's take off a national tour with whoever and pick up and go. And it's not that easy, right? It's just a task. It's just a task.
Yeah, it's really hard, because like there's just so many other things the older you get that get in the way. And then even like with Violence, I mean, there's a distance. There's, you know, 13-hour days where you're flying out to California to do show or whatnot, you know, and you know, it's just hard, yeah, because before you were in your band and that was it. You only played with your band. But now people are like, you know, playing in 5 projects.
Right, yeah.
So how do you get them to drop what they're doing to come play with you? It's a bit of a nightmare.
Maybe just
it'll happen. It'll happen sooner or later.
It'll happen eventually, for sure.
I hope sooner because I'm not getting any younger.
Right? Oh, you're still young. You're still young. I mean, 80, 90, okay. You're still young. You can
I'm
still,
happy if I make it that long.
right? Have you had any contact with the guys from Violence or even?
I talked to Barry. He always sends me messages. I talk to him a lot. I congratulated Phil on the Kerry King thing.
Yeah.
But they're pretty much the only two I talk to.
Okay, very cool. Any other projects, Bobby, that you might want to mention or talk about?
No, I'm just concentrating on Painward and Taint for now. Hopefully, just get out and do a show. If someone can get us on something or ask us to open up for something, I'm sure I could find guys. But right now, that's the only two things I'm thinking about.
I was going through your bio on Metal Archives, and it says there. I'm not sure if this is true. Maybe you can debunk it. It says there that you auditioned for Metallica back in the early '90s, '92. Is that
so? The Guns N' Roses tour when James got burnt.
Yeah.
That's true. They had called me. They called me that night, about 11:30 at night or so, and told me what happened. And I had like 2 days to learn like 18 songs, and they flew me out to Denver, and I auditioned out there, but it was just too short of amount of a time to learn all that stuff. I mean, I wish it was more of, these are the 5 songs we're going to audition you on. Just learn these 5. I would have had a better chance, but I guess John Marshall knew most of the stuff because he had stepped in once before.
Yeah.
But that's true.
Wow, very cool. So you
that would have been cool to do.
Right.
They were playing those stadiums back then.
Yeah.
That would have been a nice little jolt.
So you actually jammed with Metallica, you can say.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a room set up at, I think it actually was the football stadium in Denver. They had a room set up with gear.
Wow.
And I think it was Mike from Flotsam and Jetsam was coming in after me. And I got in the day before, and my flight was late, so I missed James.
Oh. And
it got so late that he couldn't wait anymore, so he left because he was in pain. So they were like, "Hey, do you want to come out?" And I'm like, No, I'm going to sit in a hotel room and just practice all night. And then the next day, I'm like, well, let me learn on the vocals, and I'll kind of know the changes from the vocals because, you can sing the song. And the next day, James didn't come. So it was just me, Jason, Kirk, and Lars. And I think the first song I did was like Creeping Death. And then the newer stuff, I didn't know. I didn't know Nothing Else Matters. I mean, it was too soon.
Wow. Wow. Very cool.
But it was Sad But True. And then I think I tried Shortest Straw, but yeah, it was just too short of a time for me to learn all that stuff. It was way too much.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Yeah.
But, yeah, I was glad they asked though. That was kind of cool.
So what's next for the band, Bobby? What's on your agenda right now? Are you?
I'm in the. I got some riffs I'm working on for Painward just to see if I come up with something that's better. I get any better songs in there, I may knock one off or whatever. I'm looking for band members for that, and as that's happening, I'm going to try and see if I can get maybe a show or two or something somewhere, just to play the new stuff out live. But just got to find a band to open for that, kind of similar to, and that's about it. I mean, shit's just sometimes out of your control, and you just got to fucking deal with it.
Yeah, very cool. So cool chat, Bobby. I'll let you go. And before you go, you said people can find your EP Guardians of Valhalla on your socials, right? And Bandcamp.
Yeah, I got on Facebook. There's a Satan's Taint page, and there's a new page for me. The other two got hacked. I opened up a Satan's Taint page on Instagram, and you could just message me there, and I'll fill you in on all the info that you need, and I'll get it out to you.
Awesome, very cool. So thank you for your time once more, Bobby. Cool chatting once more, and hopefully we'll see you in Texas sometime. And the rest of the fans want to see you out there, of course. Easier.
I hope so, man. I want to get on the road.
Awesome. Thank you, Bobby.
Have a good one. All right, man. Take care.
And we welcome you to join us on our social media platforms, Facebook, X, Instagram, at That Metal Interview, as you guys might know already. And if you guys are new to this journey, we more than welcome your presence in our journey, as I would say it, because we are all friends and thrash metalheads, thrashers, and death metal bangers, whatever you want to call us. We are all metal heads. So welcome to our platforms. We are present for you guys at That Metal Interview, wherever you might find us. And of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel, That Metal Interview. We thank Bobby one more time. Thank you for returning to the show and presenting your new EP with your awesome badass project, Satan's Taint. So guys and girls, look it up. Order it. Go to Bobby's socials, Bobby Gustafson, Gustafson. Bobby Gustafson is present there for you guys and girls. So order the EP. I truly, truly recommend it. Guardians of Valhalla. Order it. Thank you guys one more time, and don't forget to keep it metal.
That Metal Interview.